Hello, Britlit scholars and former Twilight fans. I'm Mr. Osborne, and this is your unit preview. Break out those frilly shirts and find a comfortable hillside, because today we're getting romantic. We'll be talking about... This is normally where you interrupt me. Well, come on. Don't you have a pointless question or clever comment to make? No. What were you saying about frilly shirts? That sounded important. You're sucking up, aren't you? Oh, no, Mr. O. I would never try to suck up to you. You're way too smart for that to work. Just roll the thing. The Romantic period, as described by our textbook, only lasted for 34 years. And while compared to most celebrity romantic periods, that is quite a long time, in the grand scheme of British history, that's just a holiday weekend. So this shouldn't take us very long at all. Hey, it's the Britlit bookshelf. Let's see what it has for us today. Why, it's a copy of Blake's Poetry and Designs, a collection of works by the famed English poet and painter of the late 18th and early 19th centuries, William Blake. Blake is the author of poetry collections such as Songs of Innocence, which he modeled on children's rhymes sung in London, and its companion piece, Songs of Experience, in which he contemplates setting a tiger on fire. As he began publishing in the 1780s, Blake is often considered a precursor to the English poetic movement known as Romanticism. Today, you might associate romance with the poorly written novels sold in grocery stores, with Fabio lookalikes gracing the covers. Do not buy these. If no one buys them, maybe they'll stop printing them. The real Romantic movement was a reaction to the emphasis on society and logic present during the Enlightenment. Prominent French and English thinkers like Rousseau and John Locke promoted a focus on individuals and their emotions instead, though Dr. Shepherd insisted that if we don't live together, we're going to die alone. We have to go back! Hey, it's the Britlit bookshelf. Let's see what else it has for us today. Why, it's a copy of Lyrical Ballads by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Coleridge and Wordsworth were two of what were called the Lake Poets, because they spent a lot of time splashing around in the Lake District. Does Pennsylvania have a Lake District? No. Maryland? Nope. New Jersey? No. There's no Lake District in New Jersey. Besides, if there was, it would probably be polluted and filled with mutated fish. Oh, New Jersey. Lyrical Ballads is thought to mark the inception of the flowering of Romanticism. It rejected the burgeoning industrialization of society in favor of a connection to nature. The most famous poem in the collection is Tintern Abbey. Tintern Abbey. Wordsworth's reflection on the 5 years between his 2 visits to the titular location. The poem serves as a stark reminder of the necessary choices that every artist must make. A poem is not only notable for what a poet mentions, but also for what the poet doesn't mention. Much had changed during that time period. Wordsworth had split with his French lover Annette and their daughter Caroline, and tensions between England and France had increased, leading to war in 1793. Surely he mentions that stuff in the poem, right? Right?
Wrong, sir.
In true romantic fashion, he focuses on how pretty the grass is. I have felt a presence that disturbs me with the joy of elevated thoughts, a sense sublime of something far more deeply interfused, whose dwelling is the light of setting suns, and the round ocean, and the living air, and the blue sky. In other words, oh, how I love the sun, and the ocean, and the sky, that Wordsworth's life was full of such personal turmoil and his nation was fraught with political turmoil and looming war, but he chose to discuss the scenery, indicates his faith in the natural and individual experience over that of society. Hey, it's the Britlit bookshelf. What now? Why, it's a copy of the complete poems of John Keats, short-lived Romantic poet and Grecian urn enthusiast. Though Keats died at the age of 25, he produced a staggering number of masterful poems featuring such beautiful lines as, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Beauty is truth, truth beauty. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the..." That wasn't him? Sadly, Keats died from tuberculosis after taking a trip into the city on a cold February night without a warm coat. And that's why you always wear a coat. Hey, it's the Britlit bookshelf. Again! Oh, why, it's the Signet Classic's extremely masculine edition of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Austen was the daughter of a parish priest and one of 8 children in a family who were among the landed gentry, meaning they owned land and lived off the rent. So they were 19th century landlords. Like Pearl. Okay, not like Pearl. Austen produced several novels in her lifetime, of which Pride and Prejudice is arguably the most well-known. It spawned adaptations for television, film, video diaries, and even a spoof with No more zombies. I'm having nightmares. Pride and Prejudice is rife with irony, as evinced even in its famous opening sentence. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Of this line, literary critic Dorothy Van Gent said, "What we read in it is its opposite. A single woman must be in want of a man with a good fortune, and at once we are inducted into the ironical Austen attack." The ultimate irony of Austen's novels, which are mostly preoccupied with courtship and marriage, is that Austen herself never married, and died of an uncertain illness at the age of 41. Okay, so that last part's not ironic. Just say. Hey, it's the Britlet bookshelf. Oh. Why, it's a copy of Mary Shelley's Gothic classic Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus. Though Shelley and Austen were both 19th century Englishwomen who published only 5 years apart, their novels could not be more dissimilar. One's about finding a husband, the other's about reanimating corpses. No, I can see some common themes. Mary Shelley, the daughter of 2 authors and wife of Romantic poet Percy Bysshe Shelley, wrote Frankenstein at the suggestion of Lord Byron as part of an informal competition between himself, Percy, and Mary to see who could write the best supernatural tale. Mine's called The Spooky Silly Ghost. And yours is? You wrote a whole novel? As it involves resurrection of the dead through scientific means, Frankenstein requires no small amount of suspension of disbelief, meaning that you accept its content no matter how implausible. Kind of like I do with student excuses. Oh, I'm telling the truth. It was 20 below zero, and my internet literally froze. The most common misconception with Frankenstein is that Frankenstein is the name of the book's monster. In fact, it's the name of the scientist, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, who creates the monster. I would repeat that, but it doesn't matter. You're going to call the monster Frankenstein anyway. Hey! It's the... Excuse me a moment. Ah! I don't care. I don't ever want to see it again. As you can see, despite the mere 3 decades that the Romantic period spanned, numerous important authors produced lasting pieces of literature during that time. And we didn't even mention Sir Walter Scott, or Robert Southey, or Charles Lamb, or you get the picture. And with material as diverse as Frankenstein and Pride and Prejudice, the Romantic period offers not just a wealth of texts, but many different kinds of works, each with its own unique themes and style that sets it apart from the rest. Ooh. Still warm. Tune in next time when we'll meet Mr. and Mrs. Barrett, Moulton, Barrett, Brown, Moulton, the Brownings, listen to the Lady of Shalott curse, and see if we can't get old Queen Vic to crack a smile. We are not amused. See you then. I'm telling the truth. My computer got amnesia.